Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 driver career mode here with Tauri, Road to Glory. In this series, remember, we're trying to become champions this year in the slowest car. Last time out we had a DNF in Saudi Arabia, which was really unlucky due to a mechanical issue under that broadcast safety car, and somehow Zhou Guanyu won the race, and Oscar Piastri got his first podium in Formula One. I guess it was Zhou's first podium as well in Formula One. As you just saw, I switched out the control electronics, which was the bit that failed on us, and Sainz still leads the way from Verstappen, and then Zhou is in third somehow. But I don't expect him to stay there with the car he's got. We're currently 10th in the standings. Tsunoda in the bottom half by quite a way. There's no points scored for him yet. Hopefully we can change that today. He's 19th. But remember, we are in the slowest car. But soon I hope that will be to change, because we have had 3 upgrades come in this week, and we are now purchasing another aerodynamics upgrade, which will go on for Miami, and then we're going to rush these 2 chassis upgrades to try and get them in both for Australia. 45% chance. I hope it won't fail. We also have this power upgrade, engine power upgrade, that we're going to purchase. First, we've got that chassis department, probably are the response. Yep, the response to last episode's chassis event. Let's skip some time and see if these 2 upgrades can succeed. Oh, they've both failed. 45% chance and they both fail. We're going to have to repurchase those then. It's a shame. I was hoping to get them both on. I guess we'll have them 100% on for Miami though. We can't repurchase that one, the second one, yet. But let's go into the race weekend for the Australian Grand Prix. So here we are then, as usual. We're going to be doing quick practice, and now we've completed the quick practice, we're going to repurchase that chassis upgrade, and we're also, when those finish, we're going to see if we can buy that tyre wear upgrade in for Miami. But now we are not the worst team anymore. Haas are now the worst team, so we make a step up due to those 3 upgrades. But let's go into qualifying, see if we can get ourselves into Q2 for the first time. Okay, then here we go. First flying lap in Q1. Bit of traffic. Fernando Alonso ahead of us. We just managed to pass the McLaren, I think that's of Piastri, but we get a massive toe off Alonso there. But then the car just shakes about. And this lap has felt, on the whole, pretty decent. A good banker lap. But as you're about to see, this lap is not been the best. Tsunoda set a 121. We're also going to set a 121. But not that, but 1 minute 21 seconds, not 1 minute 20 seconds and 1/10. So we are now 20th by 2/10, and we're going to need this lap to count if we want to get through into Q2. Tsunoda up the order, which is nice to see. We can't see him, which means he's at the moment in Q2, but this lap was just gaining time everywhere. See, 1/10 through the first corner, lose a bit because of the slipstream, but 5/10, and we haven't even finished sector 1, 6/10. And at the end of it's been green in the first, green in the second, and at the end of the lap we gained 1.3 seconds, just gaining time everywhere. And that is enough to put us into Q2, and that's P11 for us. Tsunoda, I believe, also makes it through in P12, so that's some really strong pace from us. The Ferraris, though, topping the session. Then it's followed by the 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Mercedes, and then Fernando Alonso. We've lost Sargent, Piastri, Magnussen, Stroll disappointing in his Aston Martin, which should be a lot higher, and Zhou Guanyu, last week's race winner, if you remember. So then here we go then for our first lap in Q2. And we've just been following Gasly for most of that lap, and we do go faster than him. That was on an old set. That was the set we used for our second run in Q1. Here we put on a new set of tyres to see if we can try and get into Q3, but I just couldn't find the time here. I don't think I ever went green, and at the end, 8/10 down, and then we go onto the grass. I just decide, and that just sums up the laps. I just decide to abort it, and that's going to be the end of our Q2, but a really good qualifying. P12 and P14 for us at the checkered flag. Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz is the leaderboard, but Tsunoda P14, us P12, Albon P11, Norris makes it through into Q3 in the McLaren, and that was a really good showing for us in Q2.
The Australian sun. We're still getting used to some track revisions here, but the core hasn't changed. This is a beloved classic of the F1 calendar, and it's time for the Australian Grand Prix. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate, and an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. Close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable. Recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Bottas, Ocon, Albon, Verstappen, and Alpha Tauri, Gasly, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Zhou, Stroll, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who prevail today. That's it, been good. It's once again in the comments. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious, how do you think the drivers stop this? It's becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid.
Regulations are new, but teams and the drivers are still coming to terms with them. I firmly believe it's also track-specific. We see the wheels of the racing throughout the year. Some tracks lend themselves better to it than others. I'd like to see it at every race in the full season. Thank you very much.
My apologies for the audio there. Not the best from Natalie Pinkham, but we're going to see if we can get a double points finish today here in Australia. We're going to do on the soft medium strategy. I thought about doing the medium soft, but decided that overall the soft medium would be more beneficial for a better getaway at the start and into a points position. Then we can defend from there on the mediums. Everyone else really on the mediums or softs. Tsunoda on the mediums, and the 3rd, 4th and 5th on the softs with us. Verstappen with a penalty, and it's a Ferrari front row lockout, so Verstappen's going to need to make up some places here. I go a bit early on this formation lap.
We're not seeing any technical issues coming
Doesn't
from
really
practice
matter.
starts. Watch the RPM on full start and wait a block out.
Okay, so we angle our car towards Verstappen. Here we go then. 5 red lights ahead of us for the Australian Grand Prix. Here in Season 1, it's lights out and away we go. Weren't held for long much there. Verstappen goes to the right of Ocon. Albon has had an awful start. We follow Verstappen through between Bottas and Ocon. It was full wide momentarily there. We get through.
We're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
That's not good, as we go down the inside of Norris and of Alonso. Norris puts up a bit of a fight here, but we just hang it around the outside and get a better exit. but the loss of power on the internal combustion engine is not going to do us any favours whatsoever, since we might not be able to hold on to such a higher position, maybe go down into P10 even. Only fine mark from P12 to P6, and Norris is already all over the back of us coming into this chicane. We have to go a bit defensive there, but we managed to keep the position. Norris and Alonso both on the medium tyres though, so that ought to help us at the start. But Hamilton and Russell already 3 seconds down the road. Leclerc, it looks like he's taken the lead from Sainz early on, and Norris just absolutely powers past us. We hang it around the outside and just keep the position. Hopefully that will leave Alonso and Norris to scrap it out, but it doesn't look like it. And we're leading the rest of the pack here, which isn't good. But hopefully it will let Tsunoda come through. So now on lap 2 here, Norris is going to go for the move around the outside. Not much I can do about it, but we're just going to sneak right back down the inside of him and see if we can late brake. No, Norris has got past us with a much better exit. That's going to leave us very exposed. Verstappen and Alonso going for it too. Verstappen's made up places in his superior Red Bull car, as he should, and I'm sure he'll be overtaking us very soon. So I look at the wear on the combustion engine here, because Norris has already pulled out 1.3 seconds on us, and he only overtook us at the chicane, which obviously is not good news for us, since that's going to leave us vulnerable without DRS to Alonso and to Verstappen. We think about a move on Alonso there, but just pull out of it. Now Verstappen's going to go for the move on the outside here. Late braking for us, managed to keep the position on the inside, get a snap of oversteer though, but managed to hold it. But I'm sure Verstappen will be coming back at us and thinking about another move to overtake. Here he goes on the inside of us there. Not much I can do about it. Ocon wants to go around the outside as well, but we managed to keep the position. Verstappen here gets DRS to pull away, but for some reason Verstappen must be having some sort of issue, because there's no way this is his real pace. We've actually managed to stick with him through sector 3, but that shouldn't really be the Red Bull's pace, considering how Alonso and Norris managed to pull away from us. I'm sure he will pull away from us eventually, but... Oh, and there's yellow flags. That was Verstappen's engine. Verstappen's engine blows up right in our face. And that's awful for the current second place man in the championship. Max Verstappen out of the race due to an engine failure. Sainz really needs to benefit from this here. He could take a huge lead in the championship. But now, without that DRS from Verstappen, we're going to be very vulnerable to Ocon. And here he goes. Onto lap 4, onto lap 5. We squeeze him to the inside. But then try to go right back around the outside. Ocon tightened his line, and that hasn't really helped him. But he's lost positions off that, and from tightening his line. And now Alexander Albon is on our tail, on the softs, but then he pits, perhaps going for a 2-stop here, soft, medium, medium, and Bottas is now on our tail. We had managed to keep Albon at bay for that last lap, but Bottas in a much quicker car, I'm sure, will be able to catch us.
6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The last lap time was 1 minute 22.8. Okay, mate, this is not good. You're losing 3 seconds a lap.
To be honest, I think the tyres and the ERS are not favouring me here. The tyres just don't feel good. 3 seconds a lap to Alonso. We're in a much slower car, but 3 seconds is a lot. Gasly here could be going for a move, and our ERS is just not been recharging as well as it did in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. Perez and Hamilton both in the pits now, going on to the mediums. We're pitting at the end of next lap, I believe. No, we're pitting this lap, it looks like. Gasly follows us in, so no chance for an undercut there, but Bottas on the mediums stays out for a longer.
Okay, one stop to go. Just one stop left in this strategy.
Yeah, cheers, Mark. I'm pitting now. As I look at my MFD here, and I see I've got front wing damage. I had no idea about this. I don't remember it at all.
Perfect job on the turn in there,
But
mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that
I'm
one.
going to have to
Pit
deal with
strategy
it.
complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
And we somehow managed to keep Gasly out of DRS range for this first out lap and the lap after that. As you can see, 1.3 seconds to gap. Ocon, who pit early onto the hards, further back. He then overtakes Gasly, and Piastri also overtakes Gasly, who's not obviously not liking the medium tyres like us, because we're loving the medium tyre. Come out way ahead of Bottas, and the undercut has worked fantastically. As now we have Joe ahead of us, who did a massive undercut on us, and Albon. Although I'm not sure if he's going to stop again, might just taking his mediums to the end, 15 laps. But finally, it takes us ages to catch up to Joe. Now we have DRS on him. I'm aiming for P9 here in this race, it looks like. I'm not sure if we can get Albon unless someone above has an engine failure or if he has an engine failure. But here we go then with DRS on Joe. I think about the move here, decide against it and set one up for turn 3. So now with DRS, using our battery, down the inside, Joe goes defensive, but he still leaves a bit of space for us as we overtake. As now, however, unfortunately for us, Joe is sticking with us. We can't pull away from him. He's got DRS, nothing much we can do. But Tsunoda could be catching up to us, and he's bringing the entire pack with him.
I've got information on Albon for you. They've got some kind of mechanical problem.
That's huge for us. We could possibly catch up to him. And into the chicane, we gain a lot of time on him. 1/10 on the exit alone, 2/10. So he obviously is struggling, but then Tsunoda here is going for the move on Joe, and he's got it done. And I decide, since I can't really pull away from Joe, I'm going to let Tsunoda through, and when he overtakes me, I'm not going to fight him. Let Tsunoda through and see if he can catch up Albon and get more points for the team. So I do let him through. Holds us up a bit, but maybe I let him through a bit too late because there was only 3 more laps for him to catch up, 8.7 seconds. Because of the fighting going on with Joe, we have lost a lot of time, and my driving hasn't exactly been good on these old mediums. I'm starting to feel the tyre wear now. As now Bottas going for the move. He just overtook Joe on a lot fresher hards. He just overtakes us, but once again around the outside we go and keep the position. But we have another issue here, our fuel. We have underfueled the car too much and not saved enough. Well, we've just used too much fuel. So at this rate, we won't have enough to finish the race. And now Bottas going for the move again. We need to start lifting and coasting now to save as much fuel as possible. You see me, I lift off there. I think that was partly to not go into the gravel, but as you can see, those worn mediums always just taking me too deep. And I can't see Tsunoda getting Albon from here. So we start the last lap of the race. Bottas tries round down the inside. We can't quite do it. We've only got 8% battery, and we still have the rest of the lap to go. We lift off massively there, go really deep, and just short shift up. We're still minus on fuel, but we're going to have to make it work somehow. Perez wins it for Red Bull, a really good race for him, and takes off points from Sainz. There's now Bottas going to go for the move on the outside maybe. Yep, he's going for it. We went a bit deep there. He's going to go round the outside, but we squeeze him out a bit, so Ocon then goes for the move. I think we should be safe now. But our biggest enemy now, our biggest threat to not getting points this race is fuel. Tsunoda does not get Albon by 3 seconds. Really unfortunate. Ocon goes for the move. We turn in on him a bit. and cut him out, so he hops the curb. But overall, I think we have these points secured. We haven't saved enough fuel, and we go into low fuel mode as we exit the final corner. But we do manage to hold on to P10, I think. It's a photo finish though. Do we?
Right, race over.
Yes, we do get P10. That's good. I thought if Ocon had got us there, I'd be devastated. All my defensive work for nothing.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Natalie Bingham, how did you think they were able to set themselves apart?
Well, confidence breeds confidence. Success breeds success. They very much enjoyed it.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. Carlos Sainz extends his lead at the top, getting ever closer to securing the championship. So then, Natalie Bingham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, you can't fault anything that Sergio Perez did out on track today. He drove flawlessly, making him an easy pick.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Really good race for us. Double points finish. That's 3 more points for the team. It's a shame Tsunoda couldn't get Albon. A couple more laps and I think he'd have him. Verstappen, unfortunately, though. DNF. Where now for him? In the standings, we're now P11, Tsunoda in P14. I'm not sure if we are going to get the championship this year, but if we are, we're going to need a lot of pushing. 7th still in the constructors. Ferrari now leading from Red Bull, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo still best of the rest. Then McLaren, then Aston Martin. But a really solid race for both of us, both Tsunoda and I. And to greet us, our aerodynamics upgrade has succeeded. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, like and subscribe if it helps out so much. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.